Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Diablo 3 strategy video. This is going to be a tutorial covering skill canceling, brought to you by HunterSC.tv. Skill canceling is a very important technique that everybody should know. It can be applied to all 5 classes and the majority of skills available to you. What is skill canceling good for? Well, it allows you to do more damage. It allows you to increase your damage per second. It allows you to cast more skills in a smaller time frame. And it can certainly be applied whether you're going player versus monster, just farming and trying to find gear or killing bosses. And what I think is even more significant is when it's going to be applied to PvP. It is going to allow you to kill your opponent a hell of a lot quicker than he's going to be able to kill you. So this is a very important technique to learn. This video is just going to explain how to do it and, well, where the advantage lies, really. So let's just take a look at 2 of the wizard's abilities. We have Magic Missile, the first ability that you get, and Spectral Blade, which is also a very early ability. Now, let's take a good look at Spectral Blade. You can see that this particular skill actually comes out very quickly, but there's quite a bit of recovery on it. Now, with any skill animation, there are three stages. There's the startup frames, the active frames, and the recovery frames. Spectral Blade comes out very quickly. It has very few startup frames, but its recovery is quite severe. Now, how can I illustrate the recovery to you? Well, I have Spectral Blade on the left click and Magic Missile on the right click. What I'm going to do is hold Shift. I'm going to click Spectral Blade, and then immediately I'm going to spam Magic Missile and try and use Magic Missile as fast as possible. So as we can see there, when I'm just using the mouse, Spectral Blade needs to complete in its entirety, including all of the recovery frames, before Magic Missile comes out. The advantage in skill canceling is that you can actually avoid a lot of the recovery frames and get your Magic Missile to come out much quicker. And of course, they can be applied to an endless number of combinations of different spells. So, as you can see, Spectral Blade, when the Spectral Blade is finishing, the sorceress, or wizard rather, excuse me, has her hands that they end above her head with some blue magic amongst her fingers there. What we can do with skill canceling is completely avoid those recovery frames. Now, how do you skill cancel? There are a few rules that, you know what, we'll talk about the rules after. Let me just illustrate to you how advantageous it is. So let's just take a look when you've got it on 2 mouse buttons. Okay. Let's switch that up. Now I'm going to cancel the Spectral Blade into Magic Missile, but I'm going to use a hotkey for Magic Missile. Look how much faster that Magic Missile comes out. And to illustrate this further, let's take a look at a close-up here. Watch the recovery frames. See those recovery frames? How her hands are above her head with the blue? Watch now. They turn to purple very quickly. You avoid the recovery frames, and the Magic Missile comes out much faster. I'll illustrate it with a skill as well. Let's take a look. Magic Missile and Electrocute. So ordinarily, you do Magic Missile and then spam Electrocute, and it doesn't come out until Magic Missile is actually completely off screen. Well, let's apply our new technique. Watch now. That Magic Missile now is like a third of the way across the screen before Electrocute comes out. You can basically get Magic Missile out 2 times faster, approximately, by avoiding the recovery frames of Magic Missile and canceling it directly into Electrocute. You can apply this to any of the classes and a whole bunch of skills. From what I've been reading and from the research I've been doing, it's most applicable to melee characters like the Monk or the Barbarian, but there are going to be certainly advantages for all the classes as well. What I'm going to tell you now is just basically the rules for skill canceling. You cannot skill cancel a left click ability into a right click ability, or vice versa. Watch this. Right click, spamming left click comes out very slowly because you have to watch all of the recovery frames of Spectral Blade. If you then switch Magic Missile to a generic attack, this is just your generic default attack, and of course there's going to be one of these for each class. Nobody normally uses this, but you need to have one of the clicks assigned to this button to use skill canceling. And now when I skill cancel, you avoid the recovery frame of Spectral Blade, and the Magic Missile comes out much faster. So in this case, I'm just holding Shift, and I right-click and then press the number 3 very quickly for Magic Missile. Conversely, I could also press number 2 for Electrocute. Comes out much faster. If I set Electrocute onto the mouse button, very slow. Once again, the original one. Look at that. You can actually get Electrocute out. I can actually cast Spectral Blade and then get Electrocute out before Spectral Blade even goes active. You see that? That is skill canceling for you. It can be applied into any situation, and I really do think it's going to make such a world of difference, especially in PvP. And I would just start practicing with it now, guys, because if you want to really be the best you can be, if you want to do as much damage as possible, if you want to kill your opponent in the PvP arena before he or she kills you, learn this technique, master this technique. I would just start practicing with it right away, and that's certainly what I've been doing. I've only actually been playing around with it on the Wizard. I'm going to be doing some more research with the other characters as well, and maybe come up with some other strategy videos that can apply this technique certainly in the future. I just wanted to illustrate to you guys and just sort of tell you how to do it. So again, just the most important rule is you need to have one skill on a mouse button. The other mouse button needs to be using just your generic attack, and then you can cancel a mouse click into a hotkey. It doesn't work the other way around though. I'm not even using the mouse button right now. You can do Spectral Blade into Magic Missile just from using the hotkeys. You can actually see what buttons I'm pressing.